3,300 years. That is exactly how long it would take for a US politician living on a standard government salary to reach the hundreds of millions of dollars we see in the portfolios of leaders like Nancy Pelosi. Whether you believe that specific calculation or not, it forces a question that is getting louder every single day. How does anyone in public office end up that wealthy in the first place? More importantly, are the rules built to protect fairness actually doing their job, or are they quietly failing in plain sight? This isn't just about one name or one party. It's about something much bigger that affects every American watching this. Your trust in the system, your belief that the game is fair, and the growing fear that the people writing the rules are playing by a completely different set than you are. Right now, that gap feels wider than ever. The tension starts with the math, which on paper looks almost too simple. A congressional salary sits around $174,000 a year. After taxes and the high cost of living in DC, some estimates bring that closer to $80,000 or $90,000 in take-home income. Now think about your own life. Mortgages, groceries, healthcare, and family expenses. How much of that income realistically turns into massive wealth over time? Even if someone saved aggressively and invested wisely, reaching hundreds of millions would take longer than a lifetime. That isn't speculation, it's basic arithmetic, and it is exactly what sparked this controversy in the first place. But this is where things get complicated, because wealth doesn't come from salary alone. The conversation quickly shifts from math to mechanics. Many members of Congress have access to something most Americans don't: early visibility into policy decisions, regulatory changes, and economic direction. It isn't necessarily illegal access, but it is proximity. In the markets, proximity is everything. Imagine knowing a certain sector is about to receive massive government support before the headlines hit. Even without breaking a single law, that kind of insight can shape investment decisions in ways that feel fundamentally different from the average investor scrolling through news after the fact. The part that keeps people watching is the fact that technically, members of Congress are allowed to trade stocks. This alone surprises a lot of people. While there are disclosure rules and laws meant to prevent insider trading, there are also massive grey areas. Delays in reporting, and the ability for trades to happen through spouses or family members. This raises a critical question. Are these safeguards enough, or are they simply giving the appearance of oversight while leaving room for an unfair advantage? Think about how that lands emotionally. You're working, saving, and trying to invest responsibly while struggling to keep up with inflation, only to hear about perfectly timed trades from people in positions of power. Even if everything is technically legal, it doesn't feel fair. In a system built on trust, perception matters almost as much as reality. While no illegal insider trading has been proven in these high-profile cases, the absence of illegality doesn't automatically equal the presence of fairness. Laws can lag behind behavior, systems can be outdated, and sometimes the rules themselves are written in a way that allows actions most people would still question. This is why the debate won't go away. There are increasing calls from across the political spectrum to ban stock trading for members of Congress altogether, or require blind trusts. The argument is simple. If you're in a position to influence policy, you shouldn't be in a position to financially benefit from it. However, the counter-argument suggests that banning trading could discourage qualified individuals from entering public service or unfairly restrict personal freedom. Others argue that real-time transparency, not prohibition, is the better solution. Ultimately, we are left in the middle of a system that is technically functioning but constantly under suspicion. When trust starts to slip in finance, it spreads into politics, institutions, and democracy itself. This isn't just about one calculation. It's about whether the structure of power in America has evolved faster than the safeguards meant to keep it accountable. The next time you hear about a perfectly timed trade, don't just ask if it's legal. Ask if it feels like a system designed for everyone, or one that quietly rewards those already inside it. Once you pull on that thread, it leads to even bigger questions about banking, corporate power, and how crises are managed behind the scenes.